So, if you stumbled across this video, you're probably looking at getting yourself a breaker. This is my Titan. Bought it from Screwfix a few years ago. They now sell a new version. It's a mighty old piece of Chinese metal. At over 16 kilos, it's a hefty old lump to use. You can see from mine that it's not a nice and shiny out of the box piece of kit. It's had some heavy use. And I'm pleased to say that it's still going well. Nothing is broken, fallen apart. And I'm quite surprised because it's only an entry level model. The breaker comes with a couple of chisel bits. There's a flat one and a pointy one. Considering how much use they've had, they're in pretty good condition. The fittings are a hex shape with a cutout, and the length of cable is around 3 meters long. It's enough for my use. To insert the bit, you simply shove it in the slot with the cutout facing towards the pin. Put up the pin, turn it round, and it slots back in. Then you're good to go. To remove the bit, you simply do it the opposite way. You put up the pin, twist him round, and pull out the bit. Also in the box, there's some kind of plastic rubbery protector to go on the end of the breaker. This prevents stones and debris getting in. But I found that it was an absolute pain in the arse to use, so I just don't bother with it, and never had a problem. There's also an Allen key. This is to undo 4 small bolts underneath the main casing. The idea of that is to top up the grease inside, give it plenty of lube. I've never had to bother with that so far. There's also this plastic turny thing that goes on the handle and tightens it up. I found this to be the weak point of the machine. It doesn't hold very well, and it comes loose when you're using it. It's not surprising really, because this is a lot of weight to be thrown around with some cheap, soft metal. The solution I found was to whack a couple of nuts on the end of the thread and tighten the hell out of it. These hold really, really well and take out any play. So you can really throw this thing about without fear of the handle coming loose or moving around. It's probably not an ideal solution, but it works for me. Overall, I'm super impressed with this. It's done everything I've asked it to do. Don't forget, it's really loud, so remember to use ear protection. So the big question is, do you really need one? Well, when you've got jobs like this, you absolutely do. It just makes life so much easier. This big old pointy boy smashes through 2 inches of concrete without a problem. Before purchasing one of these, there's something really important you need to bear in mind. And that is, are you strong enough? I know there's some contractors will probably stumble on this and they go, what are you talking about? Are you strong enough? Well, this video's aimed at your DIYer, your weekend warrior, somebody who's got half an idea and needs some gear. So that's why I say, are you strong enough? If you got a weak back, weak shoulders, you don't want to be hefting this around. You're just going to hurt yourself. For me, it's fine. I'm used to all this. I don't have too much of an issue. Mrs. InfoZhed said to me, can I have a go? And she had that determined look on her face that terrifies me, so I said, help yourself, love. And off she went. Her nickname is the Destroyer, because just about anything she touches falls apart or breaks. If there's a weakness in it, she'll find it. So it was a great test for this breaker. You can see her technique's not particularly good. She's using it like a giant lever to wedge the concrete out. Something you shouldn't really be doing with all this. But it survived. So it's Mrs. InfoZhed proof. That shows you how good a machine this is. There was 3 of us at this. And it was a good morning's work to take all that concrete out down the side of the house and stack it out the front. You can see how much we actually took out. And that breaker went through it like a knife through butter. Now you're probably wondering why we're chucking this all out the front and stacking it nicely and not putting it in a skip. Well, there's a simple answer to that. If I have a big job going on, we get in one of these. They come along, they scoop everything out with no effort at all, and 20 minutes later, everything's tidy and everything's done. So, do you need a breaker? Well, ultimately, that decision is up to you.